Hello and welcome to Triangle BNI. Today's show is brought to you by Oak City Tech. Oak City Tech gives their clients an edge over their competition with web and logo design that make them stand out. They increase brand awareness and generate leads with SEO and social media presence, then convert those leads into clients with content creation and email marketing. If you'll go to oakcitytech.com, let them know what you need. I know they can help you. They've helped us. Tell Drago that we said hi. Hi, everybody. My name is Mike Manning. Each week, we bring you small business success stories from Triangle BNI. If you are not familiar with BNI, it is Business Networking International, the world's largest networking organization. And if you're not familiar with Central North Carolina, our little slice of heaven here in the Triangle is Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill. Each week, about 33 chapters, almost 600 members get together, and the only thing we do is help each other grow our business. So our small business success story this week is Dyrke Maricle with Goosehead Insurance. Dirk, glad to have you here today.
Thanks for having me.
So I always like firsts on the show. All right. So you got the coolest name I've had on the show. I'm sure you hear that from people. It's like, it's cool. It's like, because when I saw that, the first time I saw this was, I don't know, a year or so ago, that when I first time I saw your name, it's like, okay, that's good. That's like a movie star name right there.
I appreciate that. Yeah, as I have very creative parents, and they used it wisely. Yes,
Dirk is in the Monday morning chapter called Best in the Triangle. They meet every Monday at 8:30 at the famous Toastery
that's
in
correct.
Cary at Waverly Place. Everybody in BNI is on Zoom now. Probably BNI is telling us for the next 4 to 6 weeks, we're going to
Mhm.
be on Zoom. It's interesting. I know you guys had your meeting this morning,
We
and
did.
I think you found out all the interesting points the rest of us are finding out.
We did. It's been fun. People, we're finding out who the technologically savvy
Yeah.
are at this point.
And I am coming kicking and screaming into the world, but it took me about 48 hours of being at home to realize I better learn
That's it.
something because I don't do phone. It's tough for me to do a phone call one to one because I got to have this.
Mhm.
And if I can't have this, at least give it to me on video. And you learn who refuses to mute their microphone.
That's right. Very important thing. Mute your microphone.
Two reasons, folks, if you're on a Zoom call, two reasons to mute your microphone. One is it's courteous to everybody else. Two is you're going to say something
No,
because
no,
you're
no.
going to,
Mute your microphone when you don't talk.
right. Yes. If some people would like it if it's muted when they're trying to talk. Yeah. Somebody is going to say something about, because they're going to think they're on mute. And I'd finish saying something. They go, what a dummy. It's like, oh, okay. So mute. Yeah. So thanks for muting that. But anyway, so we're having a lot of fun learning Zoom. There's a ton of things going on today. We're in the last Monday in March 23rd, next to last. Anyways, we're March 23rd, and there's just a lot of things going on, Dirk. So yeah, so we'll talk about the small business portion of your world,
Sure.
but let's just talk about insurance for folks, just regular homeowners, renters, not even commercial stuff, but just individual stuff. What kind of calls are you getting from people about what they think they might need to change or do?
And that's a great question. I mean, I really feel like right now most of the homeowners that we're talking to are really just wanting to make sure that everything is still good. We're not seeing a significant amount of worry. And I think it's because maybe right now people have a lot of other things that they're worrying about, that insurance is falling a little bit further down. I think the biggest question that we're having is not necessarily even people calling that are customers of ours, but people that are calling that have heard of us and they know of the Goosehead guys in the area, and they are, I mean, really just wanting to save some money. I mean, we don't know what this is going to look like. We don't know what this is going to look like, both in how long we're going to have to stay in our houses. We don't know what this is going to look like if they're going to be downsizing, if people might be laid off, if hourly employees who are no longer working. So the one thing that's on everybody's mind is, how can I save money? And so that's probably been the biggest questions that we've been having is, can you help me not sacrifice on the quality of insurance that I have, but I would really like to save some money and get the most for my dollar.
And you mentioned before we came on the air that the carriers are really not panicking yet. Nothing's changed on their end.
No, and that's been good. I mean, I work with over 30 different carriers, at least here locally in North Carolina, and they've been giving their updates. I kid you not, I have received an update from probably every business I've ever done business with
Yeah.
in the last 30 years. So yeah,
That's kind of good,
I
right?
mean everybody, but pretty much Toys R Us and Circuit City have sent something out. So yeah, but the response that we've been getting is, hey, it's business as usual. We are taking the steps that we need in order to make sure that our workforce is safe. But as far as how we are doing our underwriting, how we're pricing out our different areas that we are covering, there is not going to be any change as of right now.
You guys do life insurance?
We do a little bit of
Okay.
life insurance, but it's not our core business. We usually I have good referral partners, especially I mean we talk a lot with Carlos in our
Yeah.
BNI. He's one of my main life insurance referral partners. So I
Mhm.
do encourage people. Yeah, we ask that question, but when we do, we direct it right over to somebody who does that for a living.
Are you getting any of those calls? Looking for, should I up mine? Can I up mine? Anything like that?
Actually we are, and those are very good referral sources for us, and that's something that as we're continuing to do our marketing to our tribe, not only the people that are in our book of business, but are also people that are coming in. That is one of the questions that we are now asking, just because we know they might not be expressing a concern about it, but it's definitely sitting top of mind that this is a good chance to not only pass a good referral, but
Yeah.
to make sure that somebody has an area in their life covered that needs to be covered that usually a large percent of our population does not worry about.
And this is a wonderful learning opportunity for small businesses and BNI, as we were talking about earlier. The the people that I know, a lot of them in BNI and not in BNI are being proactive. Insurance, certainly the financial advisors, telling their clients, "Hey, this is why we set your portfolio up like this."
Mhm.
I know with insurance, this is why you have this level of insurance. You're gonna and the toughest part is though, it could change tomorrow. This is very fluid. And so as a small business owner, now how many people do you have in the shop?
It's just my business partner and myself right now.
Okay, all right. So
Yep.
you don't care about Scott. So we'll get to that later. So what are you hearing from some of your clients that have the businesses on what they're having to adjust or do? Are they sharing any of those stories with you guys?
I think just because of my involvement with the local Clayton Chamber and a couple
Mhm.
of other places that I'm involved with. So I do a lot of work, not necessarily ensuring of local businesses,
Yep.
but I do a lot of networking and I do a lot of shopping in my local community. And I think that's the biggest thing is that they are taking a hit.
Yep.
They're not able, like local restaurants, they're not able to have people come in and nobody's taking that relaxing Wednesday lunch.
Yeah.
And so I mean just like I have over here. I mean, I stopped by this morning to my local
Mhm.
coffee shop in Clayton at Boulevard West,
There you go.
and I grabbed my black coffee, which I could easily have done at my house,
Mhm.
but I mean, I think this is a time where I'm fortunate enough where my business is still thriving and doing well that I need to start pushing more back in. So I'm trying to have more lunches where I'm doing takeout
Yep.
and doing so that I think they're hurting businesses that rely on people coming out of their house and spending time at those businesses that aren't considered essential.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that we need to find out what's the best way to support those companies.
Yeah, and I was reading an article this morning that the talk in Washington is to take care of small business owners, which is good, and I'm glad they're doing that. And then you get the pushback on, oh, let's send 50 billion to the airlines, but that's another podcast. But the article was based around self-employed. And we are small business owners, but rarely do people say, "Oh, you're self-employed."
Hmm.
And that's a little bit of a difference too.
It is
So it's trying to deal with everything. And again, it's fluid because I figure through April, stuff's going to be slow because we're still learning information. We've
at the
not seen the
least.
peak yet. I think once it starts to come down, things will change a little bit, but nobody knows that yet.
I think the thing we need to realize though, and what we need to be prepared. And see, here's the thing. I'm an insurance guy, so I always have to go to the worst case scenario, and that's just unfortunately where I live. So and it's not fun living in a glass is half empty kind of an occupation. But I think the one thing that we need to be worried about and we need to be planning for is yes, maybe on at the beginning of May we're able to get back out and start doing things and interact as a society again. But just because that happens doesn't mean everything goes back to normal.
Yep.
What it does mean is that real estate is starting to slow down slightly. which means that mortgage lenders are not going to be writing as much business, which means that different trades are going to be slowing down. So there is this whole slowdown that we are going to have to quickly react and ramp right back up again.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, just because it's over doesn't mean it's over. It's just something that's probably going to continue to impact us for quite a long time, unfortunately.
And there'll be two parts on this. One is, let's just pick a date, late April, late May, and the governor in your state, wherever you're listening, says, okay, restaurants can open now. That may not mean that all the people are going back to work. So it's just going to be interesting to watch the dominoes that stand back up and in what order they do. And I know on the insurance side, your job is to, fortunately and unfortunately for your clients, is to look at the worst case scenario. So
It is.
they need to, and I preached this before, we've had other insurance folks on the show. Please shop local, because you'll have Dyrke's cell phone number versus calling a 1-800 number, punching your 16-digit code,
Yeah.
if you can even remember it. So shop local. So we're talking about the impact of small businesses. And today, Dyrke, you've been affected by a small business. We talked about this.
Mhm.
You're wearing a hat.
Yes.
So now the hat looks good. That's not the point, but there's a good story on why you're wearing a hat.
And I appreciate you saying that, because I don't normally go out with a backwards hat on. I mean, I think it's,
But it fits your personality.
It does. And I mean, normally my brand is, everybody's always asking what socks you're wearing, what shoes do you have on, which that's
and
my
what
brand.
color are these?
I call it plum.
Okay. All right.
And I am
Plum
not flexible
sneakers?
enough to show you that right now.
Converse?
Yeah, Converse
Yeah,
all the
old
time.
school.
Yeah,
Old
yeah,
school
the Chucks.
Plum Converse shoes. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, but because I have not been able to get a haircut, and everything is closed. So if anybody's watching this out there that is still able to cut hair, please hook a man up, because right now I literally look like an orange on a toothpick if I were to take this thing off. So yeah, we are keeping the hat on.
But despite the difficult day he's having, he came out of the house
That's
to
right.
be on the show.
That's right.
Took one for the team,
I
and
did.
we appreciate you being here. All right, so your partner, Scott Rudder, J. Scott Rudder. We have to put the J period Scott Rudder, yeah. And it's funny on LinkedIn and you can tell who doesn't really know somebody on LinkedIn when they say congratulate, fill in the blank for 1 year this. And when you hit congrats, it pops up, congrats J. Scott Rudder or Dyrke, or whatever it is. Yeah. And you can tell who doesn't really know them because they just hit send. I chuckle at stuff like that. So you mentioned you and Scott running Goosehead Insurance.
Yeah, we're the Goosehead guys.
All right. You guys are a franchise, but you were saying you are the second one outside the state of Texas?
Well, what it was, back in 2012, Goosehead Insurance took a model that was extremely successful. They had built it to be one of the largest independent insurance companies in the United States. And they took it and they said, well, we're doing something revolutionary. This is not how insurance is done anywhere else. And people kept looking at the model and saying, I want to be a part of it. So in 2012, they started franchising, and it has grown slowly at the very beginning. And now it's to the point where we're in almost every single state. I am the second agency that opened up. I opened up over 2 years ago, a second agency that opened in North Carolina. I was the first in Raleigh, and it's been great. The model's been fantastic. I love it. It's a great franchise. The culture, it's been noted in like Inc. magazine and a couple of places as the #1 culture of small to mid-sized businesses in the United States. So it's fantastic.
Where did the name Goosehead come from?
It's a good
Sure,
question.
there's a good story, right?
And again, it made it personal to me of how I got to choose how to go with Goosehead. The CEO, Mark Jones, he is a former one of the heads of Bain Capital, and he decided, as his wife opened up this company back in the early 2000s, decided this is a fairly lucrative business, and so he left Bain Capital, great job, to become CEO of this company. And as they were going through this rebranding stage and wanting to take it national, they were working with a marketing team, and they were giving them a bunch of different companies, company names. Say, hey, this is a great brandable name. What do you think? And he was sitting there holding his granddaughter on his knee, whose name was Lucy, and her nickname was Lucy Goosey.
Oh.
My 17-year-old daughter's name is Lucy as well. And so, we always call her Lucy Goosey. And so, out of nowhere, the name Goosehead was born, and here I am.
Okay.
And I mean, it maybe is a little weird, but I mean,
but that's okay.
it's you remember it. I
You
guarantee you.
stop for a second and go, okay, what is that?
That's it.
Are
That's it.
they one of the few insurance companies that franchise?
There are other franchise companies that are out there. There's not a ton of them.
Yeah.
Usually the independent model is built where you open up your own business and then you negotiate the relationships with all of the carriers that are out there. Whereas our model is a little bit different, where we open up as a large independent company. All of the relationships are negotiated out of our franchise corporate office. And then we are the ones then that just go ahead and do nothing but sell and provide that relationship with those carriers.
And the beauty of being an independent carrier, independent insurance agent is, man, you can call anybody, right?
That's it.
And you can truly shop a price.
It can. And I mean, that is the decision that led me to do what I'm doing right now. Before, I was never able to offer multiple prices. So a lot of times all I could do was apologize to customers. And an apology is great. And it is okay to pay for a value. So if you are spending more money for your carrier and they're providing you a value that you're not able to find anywhere else, then that's great. It just got to the point where I was able to offer a product. The value is there, but when you are double the cost of everybody else in the market, that's a lot to ask somebody else to pay for. And so now we're able to match the customer with the right price, with the right company, because honestly, insurance companies and customers are like snowflakes. And I say that in a way, what a snowflake means to me is that no two are alike. Everybody's got a different situation. Some people have okay credit. Some people have fantastic credit. Some people have a large amount of claim history. If you go to one of the main carriers that I represented, I had no answer for you other than I'm saying, I'm sorry, call me back in 3 years. Hopefully I'll be able to write your business then. But now I have an answer for every single person that comes to me. I don't have to turn anybody away. So from a business model standpoint, that is a great business to be a part of.
And what I've learned is there's different carriers that focus on different industries or different situations people are in.
Exactly right. And we have some carriers that just focus on people that are buying brand new homes. And
Oh, really?
oh yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
That's all they do in this market. They, a lot of them, some of them are Florida-based carriers. So I tell people, if you figured out how to write business in Florida, you can figure out how to write business in North Carolina. And they're just writing fantastic premiums. They're great companies, and they're just not charging you because you are not paying to have their name on the back of a basketball hoop, or you're not paying to have their name on the back of a baseball field or on a dugout. They are branding themselves, which is great. Don't get me wrong. That's a good way to brand, but where do you think that money comes from? And a lot of the premiums that we write, I mean, you're really just paying for really good service. And that's why the premiums are so much lower. Believe it or not, and this is funny, you're going to like this. When I left, I never thought I would ever have to deal with this. But the number one thing that I have to defend, or my number one comeback that I have to do when I am selling a product to a customer, is trying to talk them into a price that is that much lower.
It's too good to be true.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
Wait, you're saving me $500? Okay, that's got to be too good to be true.
minimum.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. I never thought I would have to be in the situation where I would have to help justify paying $600, $700, $800 less on a homeowner's policy than what they're paying now. But I am.
Well, hopefully they each tell 3 friends and your business grows.
And then that's what happens. Yeah, definitely.
Got it. On your LinkedIn site, you describe yourself as an adrenaline junkie. You've got 4 kids.
That's it.
Who's the adrenaline junkie of the 4 kids?
You say that 4 times.
I know. Yeah.
It's all of us. I mean, we're active. I've got 4 kids. My oldest is 18. 17 is my daughter. I have a 10-year-old boy and I have a 2-year-old boy.
All right, hang on a sec, people. You heard that, right? 18, 17, 10, and 2.
And 2.
Just wanted to make sure we all heard that.
Retirement and I necessarily don't get along very well at this particular point, but that's okay. If you love your job, you don't have to retire, right?
Yes.
That's what I tell myself to get by nowadays. But no, I love it. I love my kids. I love my family. And I think the adrenaline just comes from, I need to have it either artificially or naturally, just in order to keep up with, guys that love to play baseball, that would love to play hockey, that are out, hiking and doing things. And a 2-year-old is just literally every day we focus on keeping him alive. That is the main goal. I mean, that guy is doing flips off of dressers and we just keeping my kids alive is the purpose I'm on this earth for right now.
What is the first goofiest thing you did from an adrenaline junkie standpoint?
Oh my goodness. That's a great question. And one I would have loved to have had before I got in here too.
Nope. It's the beauty of live television here. So.
Yeah, I know. I think I've done a lot of stuff. I'm a huge, roller coaster fan, and
Okay.
I mean, I love. I'm not really afraid of doing anything like that. So we try to go on as many of those as we possibly can. And yeah, I think that's probably it. I mean, I played college sports,
Mhm.
and it's just I think it's not necessarily doing something that's really out there.
Yeah.
It's just the ability to compete and feel like you are trying to just trying to win. I'm very competitive, so the adrenaline comes from just just the love of competing.
All right. Your wife has the hardest job in the free world.
Oh, you better believe
Stay
it.
at home raising kids. All the stay-at-home all the moms, but stay-at-home moms, we salute you because it is the hardest job ever. We get to leave the house and talk to adults. So
At least not anymore though.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, for at least for the next
There is a
month or
new
so, yes.
understanding of stay-at-home moms. There's
Oh,
an
yeah.
appreciation like
Yeah.
we've never known right now.
Yeah. My wife and I work from the house anyways, but she's working from the house just because of her business. They sent everybody home, and we're trying to coordinate our Zoom calls as to who's going to be the loudest in the room. The other one goes into the other room. But back to your roller coasters real quick. My wife and oldest son, if it's not going backwards, upside down, or in the dark, they're really not interested in getting on it.
Yeah.
And my youngest son and I just stand on the ground and wave at them to us.
That's good.
Your wife.
Mhm.
I always ask people how they met their spouse, and do you tell the story the same way?
No, we do not tell it the same way.
Good. I hate when everybody says yes. Now you have.
I can see. I literally, if she's watching this, I see
Okay.
her rolling
What is
her
your wife's name?
eyes. Sarah.
Okay, Sarah. Hope you're watching. We're about to hear the story, and you'll be able to tell him when he gets home what he got right about
Oh
the
yeah,
story.
and
so,
she will too.
Yes, good.
Our story. We met each other on a warm fall day when we were both 5 years old in kindergarten.
In, up
Love
north.
at first sight.
Up north.
Yes. Yeah. We're from Central Illinois, so we both attended the exact same school. We grew up in a mid-sized town, the kind where people still know each other's names, and you can't really get away with anything because somebody's always going to tell your parents. One of those kind of towns. So we met each other in kindergarten and absolutely could not stand each other. Oh, I mean it was bad, but we continued to. We were in every single class together except for one growing up. So we were in the same school, the same class. We knew exactly. I mean, everything there was to know about each other. We
Yeah.
pretty much knew the good, the bad, and the ugly. It got to a point so bad in 5th grade where we would fight so much. The teacher, our 5th grade teacher, Mrs. Mosier, would make us walk at the front of the line and hold hands with each other. And she said, you guys can't stand each other so much. I guarantee you someday you're going to be married. And Mrs. Mosier was in the front row of our wedding.
I was just going to ask.
Yeah,
Okay,
she
good.
was. And with
And she stand up, go, I knew
a
it.
huge smile on her face. But yeah, then we got into high school together, and she became the captain of the cheerleading team, and I was the captain of the football team, and we started to kind of run a little bit in the same circle. And
Well, those stories write themselves.
it does, yeah. And I mean, she just I guess she was always beautiful, but it took me maturing a little bit to see how beautiful she was. And we went away to different colleges, had some time apart, and
Yep.
found our way back to each other. And we've been married for over 20 years. So yeah, just typical story.
There was a tipping point of, you know what? We should go out. Right?
Yeah.
All right. When was it for you?
This it's a good way to describe how I went after her is the exact same way that I go after business. You just keep pursuing.
Yeah.
And until she basically just said, I'm either gonna have to say yes to go on a date with this guy, or I mean, this guy's just gonna continue to do this. So yeah, I pursued her. She is, and she was, I mean, just a absolute knockout. And so, and I knew her family. I knew, and I knew a lot about her. So I was just like, this is somebody that I want to get to know. And I just continued to show up. Yeah, it's like a bad zit. I mean, I just kept popping up when you didn't want him to.
Where was the first official date?
The first official date, I played hockey, She went to a hockey game of mine, and then afterwards we left and we went to go see Lawnmower Man in the movie theater. You guys
Jeez.
remember that movie? That's a
Man,
blockbuster.
nothing but the best for your
You
future
better believe
life.
it. I know. Yeah. Yeah. So that was our first official date.
Why do you say you don't tell the story the same way?
I think I am more drama. So hers is told much plain where, there's maybe a lot less where there was no, I didn't hate him. We just,
Yeah.
we just coexisted. And so yeah, I think she'll admit I'm very drama. So I add a lot more fun into the story, which is true, by the way.
Yeah.
She just leaves it off. It's
Yeah.
just two different versions of the truth.
So you went to Illinois College for undergrad. Where did she go?
She went to Illinois State.
Okay. Did you guys talk
ISU.
in college?
Not for about 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah. We ended up we broke up over a game of Taboo. I don't know if you ever played that game.
Yeah.
That
who broke up with who and why?
Oh, she broke up with me. Well, we just, we're competitive.
Are you one of those?
Oh, we are. We can't play to this day.
Okay.
We have to be careful what games we play.
Yeah.
But we have grown to love our differences. So
you
yeah.
trash talk whether you're winning or losing, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Otherwise, why play?
Exactly. But she does too, though. So that's all right. And our kids as well. We're all competitive. But yeah, we broke up for about a couple of years, which is good. I think everybody needs to have a little bit of time just to, I think everyone needs to grow individually and find out who they are individually before they come back and can truly commit to another person.
Who called who the first time after the breakup?
Now there's a big difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hang on, folks. It's about to get really good.
She claims that I did reach out to her.
Okay.
See, I played college football at Illinois College.
Mhm.
And I ended up hurting my leg and had to come back to Central Illinois for a while. She reached out to me and was, just saying, hey, how's it going? I know you're hurt, and, just kind of reconnected that way. She claims that I was back and kind of reached out and talked with her, but that's okay. Either way, it happened. We started talking a little bit, and about 1 year later, so this was our junior year. 1 year later, I asked her to marry me, and we were married right after I graduated from college.
What are the in-laws? Obviously, they're friends. They knew each other, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Were they there? Were they surprised at any point in time that you did or didn't get married?
No, I think they knew we were kind of made for each other.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know. I guess they've never shared it with me, but I would hope they would want us to be together. But yeah, no. I mean, it's turned out well. I mean, we get along absolutely fantastic. Our kids are great.
Just certain board games you can't play.
Or
you need supervision.
We know our supervision. We know our limits. That's fine. No Monopoly, no Taboo.
Nice.
Yeah.
How'd you guys get down here then?
I started with State Farm.
Okay.
And we moved to Wisconsin and lived in Wisconsin, and I ran Goodwill stores for a living. And
you're killing all my show notes, but
I'm sorry about that.
No.
So I had about 55 Goodwill stores that I managed out of the Chicago and southeastern Wisconsin area, and it just got to the point where I was traveling so much. I mean, it was 70 hours a week, just going.
And
you're
driving.
Oh, you're driving a lot.
No flights.
And I mean, I've got 2 kids at that point, and with a third one that had just come along, and it's just the point where I wasn't seeing them. I mean, I was constantly gone. So everybody I think has that time in their life where they are looking at what do I want to do, and is making the money here or doing here worth what I'm losing someplace else. And it got to the point for me where I said, no, I mean, I would much rather take a risk and do something different that gave me the flexibility if I wanted to spend more time with my kids, to spend more time with my wife, to do different things, even though I might, it could end up where I have to lower our standard of living in order to do it. So we did that, and I looked around to a couple of different places. My mother-in-law actually suggested, insurance might be a good alternative for you. I mean, I know they can run their own business. They make a good living, and it's something that continues to pay year in and year out.
Yeah.
And so I looked into it. I looked at a lot of different companies. State Farm had a good option for us, especially if you're starting without any experience whatsoever, and went through their program. It's a very difficult program to get through, and ended up, they wanted me to be an agent in Madison. And my wife told me, if you move me to another place that has snow, you are going there by yourself. So I took heed, and we loaded up our truck and we moved to North Carolina.
There you go.
And I opened up my office in Clayton, North Carolina. Did that for almost 7 years, and here I am.
Well, as a Southern boy and a Raleighite, we welcome all people here. We're glad that you found it's a cool place to live.
I'm pretty much almost
Yeah.
a native at this point.
Yeah,
I mean, compared to
almost.
everybody else that's moving into
I
the
know.
area, yeah, I've been here a long time.
And Clay, so you guys moved here when?
In 2012, January
Okay.
January 1st, 2012, we
Right.
rolled right on in.
All right. Well, forgive us for our approaches and panic on snow and ice. It's not pretty.
Once you've been here long enough, you just learn to live with it.
Yeah, just if people would just slow down, but we talk about that all the time. We are here with Dyrke Maricle with Goosehead Insurance. Dirk's BNI group meets Monday morning at 8:30 at the famous Toastery in Cary in Waverly Plaza. So if you like Monday mornings, 8:30 is a good time. Don't go now because we're doing all the meetings by Zoom, but when restaurants start to open back up, they'll be meeting there. Today's show is brought to you by Oak City Tech, where they help you reach your goals with proven technologies for increasing traffic leads and sales. And with everybody home, for the most part, folks, if you got a small business, you need a seriously good online presence. So please go to oakcitytech.com. Tell Drago we said hi. I know he'll be able to help you. So let's talk online. You and Scott are all over the place on social media. I think somebody told Scott start posting because the last 3 weeks he's been everywhere. I see at least one a day, which is good for a couple of reasons. One is it's frequency and recency that people remember to buy something. But two is, man, there's what, 1,000 agents, insurance agents in the triangle.
They are, and there's agents, all of them do things differently. And I do think the way that we do business is different than a large majority of the other agents that are out there. And so I think we're just trying to take advantage. And I mean, I think this is a good opportunity where I think Scott and I believe in the same philosophies, and that's why we went into business together. Scott is a very good networker and has really good relationships, which is very important. I am very customer focused, so I do a lot of the customer work. I'm in the office a little bit more than Scott, which is fine. I think in order to have a good synergy in a business, you need to be able to kind of match each other like that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and that's something that we do. But we both believe that in our opinion, there are four things that you have to do networking wise in order to make the most out of it. Number one, you have to have a mission, you have to have a brand, you have to have something that you can push off to your tribe to make sure that they understand what you're trying to sell, what you're trying to do. The other thing that you need to do is you have to be a leader. You have to have somebody that is going to champion your cause. If it's you, great. If it's not, find somebody who is, somebody that's able to have passion and charisma around what you're trying to say about your product or your service. The third thing that you need to do is you need to be able to have a platform in order to communicate that. And it's multiple different platforms. And I mean, you're doing a great job by, making sure that, with YouTube and social media and just getting out your voice out there. But there's Facebook groups, you put yourself out on Twitter, you're doing the podcasting, you are getting some kind of platform on YouTube. You're doing those different things because the one thing it's important to remember is your tribe, your network is not the likes and comments that you are getting on that platform. Your tribe, your network are the people that are leaving those comments. It is not the social media outlet that you are reaching out to. It's the tool that you use in order to reach out to them in a lot of different levels. The last thing, and number four, and this is the most difficult thing because I see a lot of people that start and they get to that fourth point and they stop. And what have you got other than just a lot of you talking and posting? The fourth thing is you got to monetize it somehow. You've got to be able to find out what is your ask. What are you doing? Is it asking for referral partners? Is it adding value to other referral partners and getting them business so they in turn give you business back? Is it just simply coming out and saying, this is what I do, this is why you need it, please come and buy from me? And so many people don't even do that ask. They just
Yeah.
sit there. And I think that's been our focus, that's been our philosophy, and that's why we network. And that's why you see probably Scott more than myself, but that's why you see Scott
Yeah.
always online and trying to add value and trying to, promote one referral partner or another. And I mean, it's just, it's a constant give and take, but that's what we've always believed.
And I don't know everybody that comes on this show very well. Some people I meet sometimes at the door, but you and I actually met at a networking event
Mhm.
at the Garner go-kart place.
Yeah. The Clayton Rockstar.
Yeah, Clayton
Mhm.
Rockstar, which I thought was, and I've said this before, so it's not like you're here and I'm telling you why it's so good. I go to a fair number of networking events, nowhere near as many Scott does, and the cattle call networking events are brutal.
Mhm.
It's tough for insurance people and financial people because there's like 15 of each of you there.
Yeah.
But there's no purpose other than, hey, come say hi to somebody. What I loved about your event was as you drew either 4, 6 names out of the jar and said, hey, you 4 are sitting at this table and get to know each other. And we were there instead of speed networking or speed dating for like a minute. We were there for a half hour, and I've had I think I've gotten 3 one-to-ones out of that. So I love the fact that there was a purpose to that.
Mhm. And first of all, I mean, let me give a shout out to, Rockstar, with Scott and Stephen David Elliott. I mean, they do a fantastic job of getting people together.
Yep.
But I mean, you got to understand that that's the job. That's what you're paying for, is to get people there. Now, what you do with them when you're there, I mean, that is kind of up to you. I mean, you can
Mhm.
make it to where you do have more of a meat market, and it's you come in and everybody, it's up to them on whether they want to make the most out of it as much as
Yep.
possible. And I think that's where people kind of, when it comes to networking, and that's why I do enjoy the BNI side of it, because it forces you
Yes.
to sit down and interact and communicate and have a relationship. Most networking events, people go in and I use this all the time, and it's probably overdone, but I love it. It's not net leaning, it's not net eating, it's not net visiting. It's networking. I mean, so please tell your spouses if they say, "Well, you're out drinking every single night." It's not the case. I mean, I hardly ever even have a beer at these places when I go. My goal is to go in and I want to meet 3 people that I can start a one-to-one relationship with to see if there's the potential for us to be good referral partners.
Yep.
Not all the time does that happen, and that's perfectly fine, because some people gel perfectly when they first meet. Others, it's just that the relationship's not there, but that's what you have to continually
Yeah.
try to do. And that's what we do at our Rockstar event with the Clayton Networking Sphere is the name that we call our group, powered by Rockstar. And our goal is that we want you to come in and we want you to meet 3 people.
Yep.
That's it.
Works for me.
I don't want to. It's what they call spray and pray. You're going out and you're throwing your card out all over the place,
God,
and you're saying, "Hey,
I hate
you have
those.
no relationship whatsoever," but yet you're expecting people to come in and use your business.
Yeah.
I mean, what is that? What good is that?
And I've had this conversation with many people, so I'm glad you brought that up. Initially in social media, we're like, hey, I got 1,000 likes on that post, but no business. I'd rather have 55 people reading my post and 12 comment than 1,000 like it and nobody leaves a comment. So I'm back to you on that. I love that part of it. There's it needs to be a foot wide and a mile deep.
Mhm.
Because those are the friends that'll call you, that will call you, or that you could call in an emergency. If you know 1,000 people, kind of, there's no relationship there. So I'm
No.
I'm totally with you on that, and I think a lot of people want to sell so bad, and they consider networking event successful. Hey, I got 28 business cards. Okay, did you have
Woo!
any kind of conversation at all with them? And just you want to pull a card out and go, tell me about this person.
Yeah.
Met him early on. I don't really remember.
Well, it's this. I mean, that's why everybody's desks are full of nothing but huge stacks of business
Oh,
cards,
gosh.
because you did a great job of collecting them.
Yeah.
You just suck at using them.
Well, and then you don't do anything with it.
Yeah.
You wait for them to call. And I've told people, we have a couple clients, and we talk about, with a couple of our clients, we've been talking networking lately. I said, you're going with 3 business cards and 3 business cards only.
Mhm.
And you pass them out to the 3 that you want to meet. Everybody else, just you can make a joke like, oh, you would think a printer or a business coach or an insurance guy would have theirs, left them in the other car, do whatever you need. But you just hand out the 3 that you really
Yeah.
want to meet. And if somebody else hands you theirs, great. That's fine. But
And that's why we do the events that we do, rather than let you come and see. Our events are to train you how to network as well.
yes.
So we call ourselves, because we're Sphere, we call all of the people that work there spherologists. So I know it's
I
kind of
like
corny,
it though. No, I like it.
but the goal is that we network on our own when we're there. But what we do is we look around and we see the people that have been sitting at the bar all night, or somebody that I know that they're part of this networking group over here, and they've been sitting at the exact same table continuing to network. And what good is that doing? They already know each other.
Yeah.
They're probably already sending each other business. So we will then go and introduce them to somebody else, or we will bring somebody to that table to try and fuse them into that conversation. Or we'll go up to you at the bar and say, who are you looking for? Because I mean, we've got the list of people that are here. I can help introduce you to somebody that you maybe just don't have the, that you don't want to come up and meet right now. And that's why we do different events at each one. I mean, we did one event where everybody came in and they had to pop a balloon at Rush Hour. First of all, let me give a shout out to Rush Hour. Those guys are fantastic. Definitely, if you've not been there, you need to get there. It is they're fantastic people. But we used their axe throwing. And so people got up and they threw an axe and popped a balloon, and inside that balloon was a Lego. And on that Lego was a word. And their goal is to go back in and network with their Lego, and they had to put together the most creative 4-word sentence they could possibly think of.
Nice.
And so we had Lego strips sitting up on top of the bar, and people would go and they would make these sentences. And what we found was that people were trying to steal other people because they had a cooler word and they needed them for their sentence. But people were interacting and they were having fun, and they were able to do these little mini one-to-ones because this was their group. And you're not going to come and steal somebody from my group. So yeah, it's just fun stuff like that you need to do to help get people out of their comfort zone and force them to meet new people.
Networking is hard in general, but to walk into a room where you don't know anybody, even for people like us that enjoy talking, it's hard. It's uncomfortable. So when you force people to sit down together, man, that takes a lot of pressure off of people.
It does.
So I like that a lot. And go to rockstarconnect.com. Find out they have cool events all over the triangle. So please take advantage of that. My only problem with these networking events, it's always complimentary beer and wine, and I drink vodka. I've not run across a vodka bar yet, but by golly, I know someday somebody's going to do that for me.
Well, all we have to do is just mention that to Scott, and I guarantee you he will be right on that. So,
but I will say at the go-kart place, I was able to turn in my ticket for a nice big old glass of sweet tea, which they have good sweet tea, so I'm a big fan of that. So it is a winner all the way around. Want to go back to your college days. You played baseball at Illinois College where you played everything. But you guys won the Division III title.
We did.
Oh, how cool was that?
It was fun.
Okay, beginning of the season, what were realistic expectations?
See, it's different for me because I pitched. I was a middle reliever.
Okay.
So you got to understand what that means from like a baseball point of view. That means I get no fame in starting the game.
Nope.
I get no fame in closing the game. I'm just the guy that sits in the middle and throws the ball. And the reason that they had me there, I'm a lefty. And so I like my roommate, for example, Matt, he was throwing, I mean, he'd throw about 93 on average. He was just a straight flamethrower. I'm a lefty that probably on average could maybe hit 80, but I was able to throw, split finger fastballs and just all the fun stuff that everybody wants to throw. Yeah. So if you come in, you're seeing somebody that's throwing 80 miles or 93 miles an hour, and then you see me that is jumping back and forth between 70 and 80.
Yeah.
It throws people off. So that was my entire college existence. I never got to bat. I never got to do anything fun. I had to sit at every single game because good news is I got in on a lot of the games. But I never,
because you'd come in for an inning a third, maybe 2/3 of an inning, just depending on the situation. So you never knew.
I know. I mean, and the good news, I think I had like a .74 ERA.
Hey.
So I mean, I did well, and I loved it. I knew I was never going to be talented enough to play professional baseball. And I think it's okay. I mean, it's okay for kids to have dreams, but I think there's a point where you also get to say, I'm not fooling myself anymore. I better get my degree and get out of here so I can start making some money. But yeah, it taught me a lot though about leadership, about how to work as a team, and I don't care what you say. I'm a big fan of not everybody gets a medal.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan that you earn and to be able to know how hard we worked as a team, and to be able to in our division to be able to get to that point where you are the top. there's a lot of extra reward that comes from knowing that, there weren't any prizes for the fifth best team.
No.
I mean, we earned it. And that's I think a good business philosophy is, I want to be number one, and I want the accolades that come with being the best. And that's just continued. So that's, to me, sports are very important.
Mhm.
And I continue to help, push my kids and encourage them to do things like that. And
Most of my analogies in coaching are sports related. Same thing. I learned how competitive you are just now. Is you knew your college ERA.
Oh,
Kudos,
yeah.
kudos to you. So let's go real quick, talk about that season. So beginning of the year, what were realistic expectations for the team?
We were coming off of a year before that wasn't significant or any good. We hadn't really brought on any new talent. All we just wanted to refocus on is what are some of the things that we can do as a team to be together and to be on the same page. It's kind of like if you look at what was the year, the year that the A's went.
Yep.
I mean, there was nothing special about
No.
that team, but what they did is they found out how to maximize the talent that they had at that given time.
Yep.
And that's something that we were able to do. And
when did you start seeing signs of, oh, this could be a pretty good year?
I would think it would probably fairly early on, because we did spend a lot of time working and making sure that we were a team.
Okay.
And we did focus. We practiced very heavy. I mean, I'm a middle relief pitcher, but I had to run a ton every single day anyways, just
Yeah.
because everybody did the exact same things. And so yeah, it's just we just worked hard. We took it seriously. I think one of the things that we did is we also played just as hard off the field as we did on. And what that means is we didn't do stupid things. We stayed together as a team. We were able to get into that frame of mind where we always wanted to win, regardless of if it was on the field or off. And that led us to, I think that's what pushed us over the edge of making us winners versus just average.
Who'd you guys beat for the title?
Oh my goodness. Now,
Wait, you don't know that, but you know your ERA?
yeah,
I'm liking
no,
that.
I know. I don't.
Did you pitch in that game?
I did not. I could easily come out and say yes, I did, but no, I didn't. We had a guy.
Sarah
that,
would call you out. You know. That.
Yeah, we had a guy that, I mean, he took us all the way. I mean, it was almost a complete game. And
Oh,
so when
really?
you've got a guy, I don't get in. I mean, if you got a guy that is throwing some heat and nobody can hit, it goes right
Yep.
from them to either the setup guy to the closer or directly into the closer.
Did you pitch in the semifinal game?
Oh, I did. Yeah,
Okay.
I pitched in the overall tournaments that led up to it.
But so the furthest you pitched in the semifinal game?
Yes.
How
yeah.
cool was that?
It's fun. I mean, especially because we don't usually pitch. I mean, if you ever watch a college game, at least, and on the Division I, yeah, it's great. You're seeing a lot of people come. There's a lot of buzz because these are. I mean, let's get real. These are the guys that you're going to watch enter into the minor leagues.
Yeah.
But for us, yeah, we would never really have a crowd other than if somebody's girlfriend or you were close to,
Yeah.
mom and dad wanted to show up. So to actually do that where people were cheering you on,
Yeah.
and I mean that's a whole new level of excitement that I got a little bit of a glimpse of. But
Talk about adrenaline, right?
yeah, well, yeah, there you go. And that's
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean. When you asked
Yep.
about the adrenaline, to be able to stand there and people are hanging on your every pitch. And just to imagine what that's like when people are sitting around, you've got 30,000 people that are doing that.
Where was the championship game played?
I believe it was in Wisconsin. It was either Beloit or I think it was close to somewhere southern Wisconsin.
What'd you guys do to celebrate after the game?
I don't know if I can say that on just in case mom and dad are listening to this.
It involved a drink, but we'll just leave it at that. So,
No,
what was the final score? Do you know?
I think and again, I don't know. It wasn't a lot because our pitcher was on.
He
So
was
if
okay.
they, I think, either had like one run or it was a low scoring game. We had a coach that didn't believe in high scoring games.
Yeah.
They believe you win with the pitcher.
Yep.
And so
Bunt the runner over.
nowadays
steal it.
these games that you're seeing are like 15 to 9, or I mean, they're great for television, but
4 hours long.
That's
yeah.
not real baseball. Yeah.
What are the neat things about bringing people like Dyrke on the show to give people an understanding of the types of small business owners in BNIs, what they give back to the community? Dyrke's already talked about being the chairman of the Clayton Chamber. Another cool thing he does is Spiritual Twist Productions, which is a Christian youth theater.
It is.
How'd you get involved in that?
My kids love theater. But let me back up. My kids didn't know they loved theater. And we were always looking for different things to do in the community, and especially things that center around our faith, which is really important to us. So we knew that there was a theater because some of the homeschool groups that my kids were a part of had friends that were in this theater. So we decided to go up and we
Wait, Sarah homeschools the kids too?
oh yeah, all the way through
Oh,
through high
Sarah,
school.
I tip another cap to you. Stay at home with the kids and teach them.
She's the saint.
Dang,
She's good.
you chose
I did.
wisely.
I did. I'd like to think that she chose me, but
Nah, we're going to Sarah.
let's get real here. Yeah, yeah. So yeah. Hey, but that just shows how good of a salesman I was.
You know what?
Right?
That should be on your calling card.
That's right.
I
Yeah,
got her to say
I won
yes.
my wife. That's right. But we ended up getting some tickets. Somebody. I mean, because we had just moved here, and didn't have a lot of money, and we had somebody. We were going to want to go to one of the performances, and we couldn't afford it at that point. So somebody gave us tickets to go see it, and so we showed up, and it was phenomenal. I mean, it not only did it promote the beliefs and the values that we want our kids to grow up with, but it did it in a really safe environment where kids get to learn how to do theater, how to develop a character, how to sing. And so we started to get them involved. We made that sacrifice of getting them involved. And from there, my kids started to really develop and they liked it. I mean, my son started off at that time, I think he was 13. I think so. So he was 13. He started off and he didn't even, I mean, he had one line and sang in the chorus, to the point now where, I mean, he's been in the lead in numerous productions.
Oh.
He's sang as a lead in at the Meredith University or Meredith College. I'm sorry, Meredith College, for the Wilo opera program that they have there.
Wow.
He loves
Wait,
opera. He
can
loves
you
singing.
sing?
No,
Did you get that from Sarah?
no.
Oh, grandparents then.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
My father was a barbershop quartet
Oh,
singer.
really?
Oh yeah, love that stuff. So it does skip a generation, kind of like the red hair. Yeah, yeah. You might need to. Yeah. So it skips a generation, and he
Right.
got it. He's got a beautiful voice. But my daughter, she's the actress. I mean, she's just unbelievable on stage. Just her screen presence is her stage presence is fantastic. And so I owe that to Spiritual Twist Productions. And more importantly, I think if a kid can get on stage
Oh.
and can present themselves on stage with charisma and confidence and passion, there is absolutely no job in the world that they can't do at all, period, hands down. And I'm a very, very strong believer that if you have a child, getting them involved in theater in one way or another is one of the most important things that you can do for them, hands down.
I don't know why in school, just in general, it's not a mandatory public speaking class or debate type class for those very reasons. So now they can talk to just about anybody.
Yeah.
They can be put in any situation. Yeah, so I'm with you on that.
The arts are one of the first things to go.
Yeah.
And even if it's public speaking, it's still probably
Oh, yeah.
considered an art.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. And I wish, and I'm very thankful for the people out there that do donate and do fund these programs. And that Spiritual Twist is a not-for-profit, and it is completely funded by the people that sign up for their classes or come to our productions. But it's also not just for kids. We just recently started, we have an adult program as well that we're doing. And actually, I am, if we ever get to the point where we're open again, I know I am directing a production of Little Women that is going to be, it was supposed to be in June, but at this point, it who knows when it's on. But again, it's a group of adults, 18 and up, and we have 18 all the way to, I think, 55 is our oldest. Singing, dancing. I mean, it is going to be a knockout show.
And you're fun and goofy enough to jump on the stage, right?
Oh yeah, I've done that before. This time
I don't worry about.
I am taking I am enjoying getting to step back and help direct and bring to life other people to enjoy it. So yeah.
Was theater anywhere in your upbringing?
I did. I did a lot of things. That's back when, if you ever remember going to like the churches that had drama in the So there was that whole like time during the 90s where that was a big thing, and I did a lot of drama in our church, and I did some things in high school and college, and and did not come back to it until more recently.
But that has helped you on cold calling for businesses, going to networking, hiring, developing relationships with clients. I mean, it's all over the place, isn't it?
It does. I don't think it helps you with the rejection part of it. I think you need to be able to learn, that I think the goal in life is when I do cold calling, it's how many no's I can get.
Mm-hmm.
And so I start counting my no's because I do know that there's a certain amount of no's that I will get before I will get a yes.
Yep.
And the yeses are the celebrations.
You're
So.
one closer to every
Yeah.
no is one closer
But
to yes.
but nobody likes to be told no, or I'm not interested, or I mean, we take it personally. So you just have to be able to separate yourself. So it does not help with that, but it does help with when you do get in front of somebody, you are very quick. You can go through a sentence without saying and or stuttering through it. It just allows you to be able to present yourself in a more confident way.
No, I totally agree with you on that. One of the other stories I wanted to get to was you did graduate school at Bradley.
Mhm.
You did a project in China for Lenovo where the way you described it was you brought IBM and Lenovo together.
Sort of.
You personally is how I took this. So I'll let you take
All
credit
right.
for it. So.
Well, and to this day, I still take credit for it, although I'm sure that there are people that are sitting at IBM and Lenovo that are thinking differently.
On other shows right now, they're talking like they took the credit.
I don't know. But I remember going over there. We did about a 3-week trip where we went to Shanghai and Beijing to not only learn about business. So we saw some communist run businesses, but we also saw some private communist integrations of business. And so one of the ones that we went into to see Lenovo, which in China, I think had like a 30% market share just in China alone. And when you have a 30% market share in China, you're making some money. What we were presenting to them, and we were a college group going over there to and this is something that they wanted to see what our interpretation of what business move they should make in order to launch a new line. They were looking at trying to expand globally. And our goal was to try and find out what was the best way for them to expand globally. So we each broke into about 3 different teams based in our groups. And our team came up with a strategy where we felt it was too difficult for them to really break into a market that was already saturated with HP and IBM and a lot of these other, like, that's the time where like Acer and I mean, so many of these companies were in the market. So we made the suggestion to them and we showed the research that it would be better for them to go in and create a strategic partnership with a company that was already existing that maybe does not have top market spot, but is leveraged enough that a partnership would allow them jointly to be able to take that number 1 spot.
And they gave you guys kind of free reign to come up with this?
whatever we wanted to do.
Oh,
So we suggested that they partner with IBM and that they go in and leverage both of their previous experience, not only to capitalize on the market in China, but IBM would help them capitalize on the market in Europe and also in the United States. So we did that, and 2 months later, there was an announcement made that Lenovo was partnering with IBM.
Off of this?
I take 100% of that credit.
As you should.
I do. I got no money for it, though. I'm still waiting for the check to come through.
Were there conversations with those two prior to this, to your knowledge?
I don't know. I'm sure there were. And I'm sure if anything, it only maybe helped justify something that they were that they were wanting to do in the first place.
Did you get to do much sightseeing over there?
Oh, it was fantastic. Yeah.
Did you get to the Great Wall?
We did get to.
How neat was that? My mom's been there. I never have.
It was great. You only see such a very small portion of it. We did get to go up. There's like a little roller coaster that you can take down it. So we got to ride on a roller coaster, and we bought our Mao hats, that we got to walk around with, and it was fun just to see though the raw expansion that was happening out of Shanghai. And we stayed right by Tiananmen Square down in Beijing while we were there, so we got to walk around there, and it's fun. You felt like rock stars because everybody saw, especially you've got this 6-foot tall redheaded guy walking around, and all they want to do is practice English.
Yeah.
So I mean, we were just swarmed with people just wanting to talk to us.
How many pictures were you in? Were people coming up to take pictures with you?
Oh, they did. Yes. Yeah. And this is also pre-social media.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a huge thing. So yeah, but a lot of people, just wanted to take pictures, and and this was before you had a camera phone.
Yes.
And the ones that you did have, it was so granular, it didn't make a difference anyways. But
I can see those kids going home that night in their own language. Mom, let me show you what I stumbled across today. Here's a picture of redheaded guy.
I saw the biggest redheaded guy I've ever seen in my life. It was like an orange on a toothpick. It was so big.
But you both got stories out of it, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's an experience that I will take with me for the rest of my life, and I recommend
international
anybody.
Travel is a big deal to learn other cultures.
Oh, it's valuable. I think everybody should. Not only, I mean, my goal with my kids is to. I not only do I would love to take off and just go and see like every national park, go and just take a year just to go and see things. There's so many things in the United States alone that we don't see and never get to, and we just take for granted that these things exist. But I mean, all the things in the world that are out there. I mean, if you get the chance to go out and do that, there's so much more outside of the little tiny county that you were born and raised in.
And though, math will tell you that the more babies you have, the less money you'll have to do that. You know that equation, right?
You know what? I love my kids. I will continue. I would have 4 more. And now my wife is right.
Yeah. We guys, sure.
You shut up.
I said the same thing to my wife one day. She said, no, cars and restaurant tables were built for 4, so we're done with 2 kids. I went, great suggestion.
Hotel rooms were also built for 4.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, we are a 2 hotel room family right now.
Oh, yeah. It was 6. Too funny. Yeah, the 2-year-old gets you 2, and the other 3 kids want to be in the other room on another floor away from mom and dad.
Yeah, and everybody's on their own device, even the 2-year-old.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Anyways, if you want to meet people like Dyrke and BNI that are involved in the community, can help you grow your business, love for you to go to trianglebni.com. In the upper right-hand corner, there's a Find a Chapter button. Click on that. Also, if you need insurance, please buy local. Shop local every chance you can. Dyrke and Scott with Goosehead Insurance, I think he's told you they can save you a good bit of money. So please give him a call. And if anybody here cuts hair, please give Dyrke a call.
Help a man out.
So he could go without the hat.
There is a cowlick that is going crazy back here.
He needs a little bit of help. So you can guarantee you'll have 1 customer this week. If you cut hair, get in touch with Dyrke. Dyrke, we appreciate it very much. Good luck with everything on the business and getting through these times that we're all going through as a small business owner. So we wish you luck with that. And we'll see you next time on Triangle BNI.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.